Hello everyone. This is TiMMi here. Uh, since this mentoring has been very well received and was kind of wanted to be made into a recording, since a lot of people didn't actually or weren't able to come to the mentoring, so I decided to actually make this redo the mentoring and make it into a video that I can just quickly or just go through the whole mentoring again and what I said at the mentoring because in the mentoring I didn't really need people. I actually did the whole thing just alone. So it is kind of it's gonna be not hard to do, uh, and it's not really gonna be much needed that people are gonna be here with me. So which is good because I can just quickly go through everything I've said at the mentoring. And I'm gonna start with the first thing I started with, which is an introduction. Obviously, this mentoring is about warm up and aim. This my mentoring, the my whole run of mentoring, is gonna be, well, at least this current run is gonna be like a series about gunfights, aiming, warming up, all kinds of things that help you win your gunfights more to develop your gun skill. Not really centered around gameplay IQ or tactics or those kind of sorts. I'm more of a gun skill mentor. So I'm gonna talk about warm up and aim in my first mentoring. A quick introduction to this the warm up and aim. Uh, I'm gonna give it the importance of why gunfights and warm up is essential to improving in Siege. Obviously, a lot of people do say that you can go around, you can pretty much go around not really worrying about your gun skill that much unless you're really high ranked, which I think is pretty much wrong. And I do think everyone needs to have at least some slight gun skill because at the end of the day, this is an FPS shooter. You're gonna need your gun skill. You're gonna need to hit your shots sometimes to win your rounds. You're not always gonna be the support guy who's not gonna have the clutch or who's not gonna be involved in gunfights that much, or he doesn't really need to hit his shots. All he needs to do is open the wall or be a Monty or etc. It doesn't actually work like that. People should know that gun skill and mechanical skill is pretty much needed in this game. It might not be the everything in this game, obviously. It's not really a huge part to learn in this game. You obviously need your IQ, your experience, and your um, the mental game is important in Rainbow, but the mechanical game is just as important because you're gonna find yourself in a lot of situations that you're gonna need to be at the top of your gun skill game, even if you have big game knowledge. So this is why I've made this mentoring series, or that's why I decided that my run of mentoring is gonna be about gun skill and gunfights. Um, I'm gonna teach you here for the first mentoring. It's gonna be about sense. It's gonna be split into three parts: sense, warming up, and aim training. And the third part is gonna be about gunfights. Just a little slight discussion about gunfights, how to move or how to peak, um, the mentality of the gunfight, etc. At the end, it's gonna be a brief talk about gunfights. Uh, but before I start anything, I need to let you guys know this mentoring is never going to be successful if you guys have no confidence during your gunfights. I cannot stress enough how important confidence is during aiming, during gunfights, and during peeking. Because if you're not confident that you're gonna hit your shots, you're gonna kill the guy, you're gonna kill whoever your peeking is, then you're pretty much not gonna win that gunfight. It's that simple. It's scientifically proven. If you don't do anything with confidence, you're going to be very, very shaky about it, and you're not really going to hit your shots. So it is very, very important to be confident and be calm, be relaxed whenever you're trying to peak, whenever you're trying to be in a gunfight. It is essential, basically, to play this game. If you're not confident, pretty much everything I say here is not going to matter because at the end of the day, you can have the best aim, you can train for 5 hours a day, you can warm up as much as you want, you can have the biggest talent in the world. If you don't have confidence, it's just not gonna matter. You're not gonna hit your shots, and that is just how it is. So I urge everyone to be confident in this game and just be relaxed because at the end of the day, it's just you having fun, you wanting to be better, and you wanting to play this game to the max and be the best you can be. So if you're not confident, then what's the point of doing this? Then what's the point of training? Um, After you have your confidence before everything else, uh, I'm gonna ask you to constantly train whatever I tell you here and constantly have patience while training because you're not really gonna see improvements or huge improvements in a short time, in like a day or a week, maybe even a month. But all you need to be is patient. All you need to be is willing to improve, and with that, you're gonna see a huge improvements at the end. It's just basic that your muscle memory is going to be developed, your IQ is going to increase a lot in the game, and your game knowledge is going to be very, very much better. Your gunfights IQ is going to be much better. Even if you don't improve your aim, pretty much if you do the basics that I'm going to say during this, you can pretty much win a lot of fights. It's just a fact, even if you don't ever improve your aim from what you have right now. And the final thing in the introduction I'm going to say is just be chill, relaxed, and always have fun. Be positive during games. Uh, Tilting is never going to help it's never going to help, and it's going to bring your team down with you. And you're going to be pretty much guaranteed to lose the game unless the teammates with you are never going to tilt and you have someone carrying you. Which is not going to be the case on a lot of the times. If you're negative, you're never going to have fun, even if you win. This game, I always play it for fun. I'm not really a competitive guy as much as I want to be, but I'm just not, and I think that's for the better for me. It's much better for your mental health. It's much better for you while playing this game to have fun, be positive, be relaxed, and you're gonna see that it's just so much better for you to play this way and to have this mentality other than being negative all the time or not having the confidence or not or just tilting just instantly. So it's just also a very important um, point to make here.
Now we're on the second part of the mentoring, which is sense. Now, finding the perfect sense is obviously the next step, or the foundation step actually, the foundation step for having good aim and winning your gunfights. So, having a good foundation is very, very important. That's why a lot of people struggle with sense. A lot of people don't really find sense that they're comfortable with. They don't, they're always changing their sense and they're constantly, they're just not comfortable with the sense they play with. And that's due a lot, that's due to, that's down to a lot of mistakes that the people make, which I'm going to try and help you guys fix in this mentoring. Um, if you are already comfortable with your sense and feel like the sense you have is a good, is very good, and it's perfect, and you don't have a problem with it, your hand doesn't hurt you when you play, You move your hand freely. Um, I suggest you don't really focus on what I'm going to talk about here. This is just mainly for the people that don't really have the sense that they're comfortable with. Now, this is very important. If you already have the sense that you're comfortable with, you don't really need this section of the video. Moving on to the sense that I currently have, which is 15-15. This is the horizontal sensitivity and vertical sensitivity. Is obviously much better to have these the same. I would recommend having the same. It's much more comfortable for you to have it the same. Um, uh, that's what I play on. I found the sense for myself. I didn't copy anyone else's sense. I play 35 standard as well on ADS. So basically, it's just this is what I play on, and this is what I'm comfortable with. And finding your own sense is very important, and it's much better than copying other people's sense. People just copy, like, they go around copying Bolo's sense or like Spoit's sense, thinking that these guys are really good. So if I copy their sense, it's obviously working for them, then it's gonna work for me. But that's wrong. It's really wrong because um, we all have different types of hand sensitivity, and anatomy of the hand is much different for like for each person, and how much hand our hand can move freely, and how much our hand is susceptible to pain when moving them around, or how much our wrist is susceptible to pain when moving it around. So I suggest everyone to find their own sense that they're really comfortable with, because sense is just about comfort. Is about what your hand finding the speed at which your wrist, your forearm, your whole hand can move all together, and at the same time they are in their most comfortable position and their most comfortable movement speed. If you can nail this down in the steps, with the help of the steps that I'm going to say later on, you basically have the perfect foundation to continue to build on towards gaining the great aim, or practicing towards great aim and winning more gunfights. So, getting your own sense, very important. Do not copy anyone else's. If you go take Bolo's own mouse, you sit it on his own setup, in his own house, on his own chair, play with his own PC, you're gonna be ass. That's just how it is. You're not gonna be as good as Bolo. That he's different, you're different. You might be as good as him, but you'll never be as good as him with his settings. You're gonna be as good as him with your own settings. That's always the mentality that you should have. So you gotta get these kind of basics down. You gotta get your horizontal and vertical down, and your ADS down, and you have to get the no bullshit approach. What I mean by this is, don't focus too much on your mouse pad size. Don't focus on too much bullshit like multipliers, like, oh, the 300 turn, 360 turn, I need to have that 360 turn, or I need to have the so big mouse pad in order to have to be the most comfortable. I need to pinpoint with multipliers how accurate my sensitivity is, and what other multipliers to use, what people use, what's the 1-1 sensitivity. It's not about that. It's never gonna be about that. It might be after, if you try and you're not comfortable with anything you try, you might want to go towards a more advanced approach to finding the perfect sense. But I guarantee 99% of the people, they will find their perfect sense with the steps I'm gonna say next. So stay tuned to what I'm about to show you in order to get the perfect sense. Now that we're in the custom game, I wanted to show you how you can find your perfect sense over here. You're just gonna be in a custom game just normally, or in a T-Hunt, whatever you want. But do prefer a custom game. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna try the sense you're currently using, and you're gonna 180 with that sense, just like this. 180. You see how easy that is to? I can just do that perfectly, like almost every time. So you just want to 180, almost 180. It doesn't really matter. You just want to turn around. You don't really need to 360 in this game. I've never 360'd in my life in this game, probably like I did it once to meme or something. So I don't really understand the obsession with people that want to do a 360. You will never 360. So just do a 180, keep training on it, and see how comfortable you are in doing that 180. The 180 is just so important to do because in a lot of gunfights you're gonna be shooting and you're gonna need to turn around and start shooting again. So you wanna practice this a lot. So because if you nail this down and it just becomes perfect for you and you can just do it instantly, it is just so important. So after you nail this down, if it feels uncomfortable with the current sense that you're using, you can keep changing it until you reach a sense that you're comfortable to 180 with. After that, you're gonna go around, you're gonna find two objects that you're really comfortable with, or any two objects that you choose, uh, and you're gonna try to shoot between these two objects. So for example, I'm gonna choose between these two chairs, or if you want to like a longer object, between this plant and this like middle point over here and this plant, and you're gonna keep flicking between them like this. If Until you're comfortable with doing this and you do it like very very well and it's really close to the targets that you want, you keep doing this whole situation and you change the and you keep changing the objects that are in the room. um, when you do this, you're gonna be a lot more comfortable with your sense. You keep practicing this until you find the sense that your hand is really comfortable with. Your hand doesn't even get it gets tired after a lot of work and not just instantly tired when you move it. So I can do it like between these two, for example. You can just keep flicking between them. I'm obviously not warmed up as much as I want to, but you get the point. You keep flicking between them over here. And you can just practice your sense like this. You can just keep flicking between these objects, like this light over here and this. You can just keep flicking between them. And you keep doing this until you're really comfortable with your sense. If you feel like you're overshooting it, turn it down. If you're undershooting it, turn it up. And if you just keep if you keep doing it correctly, then your hand is pretty much comfortable. These micro movements right here are very important in your game. You can do it between like these two plants like this, for example, and you can keep doing this routine until you're really comfortable with your sense. You just go around the map, flick between two objects, and the more you do it, the more you're gonna feel you're comfortable with your sense. If you don't feel comfortable, just keep changing it, lowering it. If you're overshooting it and upping it, if you're undershooting it, then you're gonna be really comfortable with your sense. After that, after you're comfortable with your sense, and then you find the sense that you're mostly comfortable with, um, you're gonna need to practice more on that sense in T-Hunt and in game. Now I'm gonna say this. Like I said before in the first notes of the introduction, you're gonna need to be really, really patient with your aim and with your improvements. This game is not easy, and it's never gonna be easy, and learning is never gonna be easy. So you need to be patient. You're not gonna improve in a day or in a week or maybe even in a month. So you gotta wait for the results. And the most important part is I cannot stress this enough. Don't keep changing your sense all the time. If you change your sense all the time, you're gonna fuck up your muscle memory. Your muscle memory is everything in your aim. It's basically what makes or breaks your aim. If you keep changing up the muscle memory, and you keep changing up the sense, your hand will never get used to a sense, and you'll fuck up your aim so bad. You might get used to it in a little bit, but it's gonna keep fucking you up in the long term. So what I recommend is just sticking to a sense. My sense that I'm using right now, 1515 400 DPI. I haven't changed it in like 2 years. And I never even thought about changing it. No matter how much slumps I have, it's never about my sense. I always feel like it's something else. It might be my training, it might be my warm up, but it's never the sense. Don't keep changing your sense. I cannot stress this enough. I'm gonna keep saying it. Don't change your goddamn sense because it's gonna fuck you up. You need to be patient. You need to keep practicing, and the more you practice and the more you stick to your sense, it's gonna be much, much better for you. All right. Um, I'm gonna talk about in the final thing. I'm gonna talk about the standard versus advanced type of ADS sensitivity. I use standard because I just put mine on 35. This is the what I used before the system got introduced not so long ago. Because what standard does basically, it uses my standard ADS sensitivity, and it changes and it gives it the multiplier for each magnification. So it says 35 here, but what it actually does is it multiplies it with everything the multiplier has. So if I turn on advanced, you're gonna see what the actual numbers are for my sensitivity right now. If you want to fine tune your sensitivity for each magnification, and I think that's pretty good step for people that do want to do it, and I think that's really good for Mubi that they introduced this kind of sensitivity. You can fine tune every scope that you want. If you want to move faster with the zoom scopes, you can do that. Some people play with 90 ADS on zoom scope, 80 ADS. One and the one magnification you can do it slower than that, and that's totally fine. It's just the advanced thing is all about fine tuning your different ADS sensitivities. So if you are looking for that, definitely I do recommend checking it out. I do not use it. I use my standard, and I'm very happy with it. I did think about using advanced, but I haven't yet, and I don't think I will because I don't really need to fine tune much. I am kind of a slow ADS player, so I do enjoy it. I do like it. I don't think I'll change it, but if you are looking to fine tune it more, you can do that, and I do recommend doing that. Now I'm kind of done talking about sense, and I'm gonna move to the next part of the mentoring. Coming to the second part of the mentoring, which is going to be warm up and aim training. This is such an important part of the whole routine of training and improving your aim, and also a very important part of keeping your wrist and hand very healthy. Now, you might ask, why is this important for my arm and for my wrist? Um, Basically, just think about it as just any gym exercise, any sports that you do. You have to warm up your muscles and your body before doing that exercise or that sport. And basically, the reason is just going hard on your body and straining it and giving it weight or putting exercise on it is going to cause it to have a lot of trouble and going to cause it to get easily tired and way, way more susceptible to injury if it is not really accurately warmed up. So, why is your wrist any different from that? Or why is your arm any different from that? So, playing the video games and being really competitive in video games and like, having long game sessions is going to put a lot of strain on your wrist, especially. So I would really recommend warming up before. doing any game session. And not just like, I don't mean warm up in game as in T Hunt or anything. I mean physically warming up your wrists by doing wrist exercises. I cannot stress enough how important it is to do this, because if you do your wrist exercises regularly and daily once you wake up or before any gaming sessions, it is a very, very important aspect of keeping your hand and your wrist very healthy and preventing many damage on it and many injuries as well as carpal tunnel syndrome. So please do keep your wrist healthy and do warm up your wrist before any session to prevent any injuries. Now, moving on to warm up, in-game warm up, there and training. There's two really good methods of doing it. There's one really good one and one other good one. The first main good one is obviously going to be T-Hunt, which obviously a lot of you already do and really familiar with, mainly because it is the only thing you can do in game to train your aim and warm up. But basically, 90% of the people don't actually use it correctly. How do you do T Hunt is very important and very, very essential to improving in the game. Now, difficulty isn't as important as some people might make it to be. Normal is perfectly fine. Hard is if you want a challenge. I wouldn't really play realistic. Realistic is kind of just dumb. The point is not to have too much of a challenge against the bots, but it is just to improve your aim and your movement in that T hunt. What people do wrong in T hunts is they just do it mindlessly. Now, before going further explaining in T hunts, if you don't know, you can go to your options and matchmaking preferences, and then go to game mode preferences training grounds, and then you can do any of the modes you want. I would recommend either elimination or disarm bomb. I think these are the two best ones you can do. I do elimination most of the time. Um, I'm gonna do it on house right now to show you what I mean. Disarm bomb is really good as well. I do recommend doing disarm bomb on the game modes or the maps that are in ranked, so you can get the feel for the maps and you can get used to the maps more. Um, and I would also explain more what I mean in terms of playing T Hunt with a purpose. I wouldn't really play Extract, Protect Hostage at all. Protect Hostage is garbage. You shouldn't play it. It's gonna put you in like a defender, but it's just so bad, and it's not really gonna train you to do anything. Extract Hostage is also kind of decent if you want to do it. It can train you in some certain aspects as um the bots will just you know huddle around the hostage so you can try to fight more of them. But I would recommend, for me personally, I do like elimination and disarm bomb. Um, then you're gonna go to your lone wolf play and then choose whatever difficulty you want. I do recommend normal or hard. I play on hard some most of the time, so I'm gonna do it on normal right now to show you guys. Um, and you just go in the T hunt normally. I'm gonna show you what I mean by practicing with purpose in T hunt. A lot of people, what they do is they just go around mindlessly trying to play to do T hunts. Um, it's just so wrong to do it like
Eliminate
that.
the
You're really
terrorists.
not helping yourself doing anything except like kind of warming up your hand and just getting it used to the feel of the mouse. But that's not really gonna help you improve or train your aim or anything. What you need to do if you want to improve in by doing T hunt is you need to have a purpose before going into T hunt. And what I mean by purpose is basically just having an idea of what you want to do in this T hunt session. So if you want to improve your aim, what I would do is just go in normally, have your gun ADS at all times, and just try to quick flick towards the heads of the bots, or and try to go for one taps mainly if you want, and like just go around, keep ADSing, and just fight the bots like this. This is gonna be a very good training for your aim. If you want to try recoil as well, you can. You can just spray, for example, with like a hard gun that you want to do. Uh, you can just try different things when it comes to aim training. If you want, you can try to practice, for example, quick peeking. If you want to practice quick peeking, you just go in T-Hunt, you quick peek every angle, and you just peek every angle with a quick peek like this. Um, that's how you practice your quick peek and the movement more. If you want to practice like crouch peek, you just crouch peek more, and you can just try it more like this. If you want to practice, for example, you know, slow peeking or peeking around the corner like this, you can do that easily as well. Like you have to have a purpose when you're doing your T hunt. You can't just go around doing T hunt mindlessly and you expect yourself to just improve on all aspects of the game. That's not how it works. If you want to improve by using T hunt, you have to have a purpose in your mind before going into T hunt. Maybe it's gonna be about quick peeking, movement, slow peeking. It could be about aim training, whatever it is. You just have to have something in your mind and focus on that thing. For example, if you're going in a disarm bomb type of uh, T hunt or elimination, even in elimination, you're going in a ranked map. What you can do is practice vertical gameplay. You open vertical and you practice that. You try to shoot shots from above. You try to open up the sight from above and practice the vertical gameplay there. It is really there's so much aspects that can help you um, um, really improve your game by using T-Hunt. And I would really recommend starting using T-Hunt like this a lot more and not just going mindlessly into T-Hunt because it is definitely the most perfect way to train and warm up in the game. Um, Uh, the second thing I'm going to talk about is going to be aim labs. Um, I'm going to show you guys what you can do in aim labs and how to use aim labs perfectly to the best extent right now. So now we're here on aim labs, which is what I use as a raw aim trainer. Why I said that aim labs is a raw aim trainer instead of like siege warm up because aim lab is devoid of any mechanical movement or any game resemblance of siege. This is just aim. This is just aim trainer. So it doesn't really show you doesn't really represent anything that siege has to offer. So I uh, I don't really count it as warm up for the game. It can be used at warm up definitely. Um, I do use it as warm up sometimes. I'm gonna show you how to use it as warm up. But what I would use it as is just basically a raw aim trainer to train your mechanical skill and draw aim. How you would do this is what I'm gonna talk about right now, and how you would basically improve your aim using labs is what I'm gonna show you. This is how you can warm up and train your aim in aim labs. What I would do is have a playlist, create a playlist, and then put your favorite trainings in there. I would really recommend spider shot, grid shot, micro shot, and you can have like a tracking one, or tracing one. and you can put whatever trainings you want after that. You can do multiple grid shots and spider shots. They're really good with flicking, and they help you get down your sensitivity and be more comfortable with it. So this could be a really good way to train your raw aim and warm up for siege uh, pretty quickly. If you can get through this playlist in a short time, and then you do it and you do it every day. Sorry about the bird, by the way. You're gonna hear that throughout the video. Sorry about that. But if you can get through this every day, it's gonna really help you. I would keep using aim labs for like a month, 2 months. It's gonna really change your aim quality. And then I would just drop it and just keep playing T Hunt all the time, whenever I want to warm up or train. Because after that, you're just gonna want to focus on movement, the movement aspect of the game. So that's all I have about aim labs. It's really not really complicated at all, and I don't really want to stress a lot on it because it isn't that important. If you don't do it, it really won't change much. It all depends on what you do in game and how you utilize T Hunt is the most important part of this, and it really can elevate your game to a whole nother level. Now we're at the final part of the mentoring, which is going to be a brief talk about gunfights and how you should approach a gunfight in the game of Rainbow Six Siege. Now, what I would recommend is to understand how the importance of gunfights are to your team and what's the thought process or the mentality of going into to a gunfight. Now, what I mean by this is having the gunfight IQ that you need in order to win your gunfights more or win the round, or actually don't even need to go through gunfights. Uh, Gunfights IQ is just part of your aim. It's just part of you winning your gunfight. Um, when having the smartness or having the idea of when you should have your gunfight is very very important. Uh, it's just detrimental into not just dying to some stupid reason or to some stupid peak that you did or to some stupid roam that you didn't need to clear. If there is someone in this map, for example, if there is someone that is uh, in if the site is in aviator and there is someone, let's say in kitchen, you don't need to just go around the map and go follow the guy it's to kitchen. If you already have like control of site, or even if you don't have control of site and you think you can have it, just put your flank drones on main and on red, and you're pretty much, or your flank watch in there, and you're pretty much done. You don't really need to go for him. It's just all about anticipating when he will try to flank you and having the idea that yes, he is there, and just pay attention to the people that are actually in front of you or in the site, which is going to be much better. If there's someone on like third floor and the site is in basement, you don't need to go clear the guy and waste your time. He is just there to waste time. He isn't really doing the best roam and or controlling the best parts of the map, so don't reward him by wasting your time in going after him. And you might lose the gunfight, and your team is just 4v5, and you're pretty much just lost your team a very important piece, which is just another teammate. And like having them in a 4v5 against defense is just so like it's just so annoying to come up against. Because they would really, even especially if you're a support operator, or if you're an operator that's supposed to get the entry frag and you don't, and then you leave your team just caught out and they don't know what to do. So having gunfights IQ is actually very very important, and it's something that you really need to have. What I'm going to talk about next is having the idea, the right idea of the scope and the gun you're using. A lot of people don't know this, but like each scope and each gun, you should really understand what's strong and what's powerful and what's not strong, and how you should not use the scope and the gun. Because, for example, if you're using the holographic and you're trying to just scope in to someone who's at the long range corner and he has like a 1.5 on you, you're pretty much gonna die if he has good aim. You should not use holographic to peek long angles. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't like go like this, go like here from to this hallway. I mean, this isn't really much of a long angle, but if you're coming up over here and you're on red stairs and there's someone over there standing over here and you're on like red, you're trying to peek this with a holographic. You go like this and you try to go peek the long range angles. That's not gonna work. Don't try that. It's not really the smartest idea. If you have the holographic, what you should do is you leave this for the guy who has the longer scope, and then you go here. This has so much shorter angles that you can just peek aggressively, and you can just go around quick peeking it, or peeking it much easier for you instead of just trying to peek the long angle and just wasting your time and getting killed by a guy who's holding that. He's gonna have a much more advantageous play, especially if he has a better scope. So understanding scopes and guns and playstyle for each gun is very, very important. If you're Ash and you have the R4C, don't go around trying to peek this angle. You come up red, play this shit aggressively, and then peek all the corners that you need. Go inside, play aggressively, go for the small angles, for the quick angles, for the pre-fires, and then you can have all of sight just for you. If you play this correctly and then don't play it dumb and try to peek every long angle there is in existence, you're just gonna die because there's definitely gonna be someone holding that long angle. Even if he has a holographic, he has a much more advantageous place because he expects you to push from there. He knows he might have info that you're pushing from red. He heard you or something. And if you're gonna peek that and you're gonna see a pixel, he's gonna see much better. He's just gonna see your head there, and he's gonna anticipate you. If he's already anticipating you, or if he has a 1.5 or if he has a 2 times, you're pretty much dead in this angle. If he's a good player, if you just leave this, don't peek. You just worry about coming up here. You watch this angle over here. Or you watch this angle over here. You watch some of this over here. Don't peek this, and then you go inside here and just worry about this. It's just so much better, and you're gonna have a much better chance of winning the gunfight. So this is something you have to understand. Um, the mentality of having different guns and scopes is just so important in this game, and a lot of people don't know this, and a lot of people don't get this, and they lose a lot of gunfights because of that. So the next thing I'm gonna talk about in gunfights is droning and having info. If you come up over here, right, I'm gonna explain this again. If you have info, there's a guy behind this map over here. Dead. You pre-fire him, you come over here, pre-fire, dead. You have the info. You pretty much, if you have info in this game, if your team's droning you correctly, if your team is playing through you, through your entree, if you're the Ash and someone is running you in, very, very good. You are going to win your gunfights because if you have info, that's pretty much done. All you need to do is just hit your shots, and if you hit your shots, very done. Tells you there's a guy on this wall, on ping behind the cupboard, dead. If he tells you that guy vault, dead. It's just so easy to just pre-fire everything in this game, and they just won't have a chance to play against that. If you have the right info, and your team gives the right callouts, you are going to win a lot more gunfights, and that's the importance of droning and giving info and callouts in this game. Next is pre-firing. So pre-firing is basically you trying to inspect where someone is and firing your shots because you think he's there, or just pre-aiming an angle that you think someone is there and just peeking that angle over here. So if you think someone is there, you peek that and then you shoot, If you see him, if you're fast enough, you pre-aim it. Then once you see him, you shoot. He's not gonna have much time because of Peeker's advantage obviously. Or you can just, you think he's there, and then once you peek, you just shoot instantly, like this, and then he's gonna die if he's there. That's pre-firing to you. It's like some people play it aggressively and just pre-fire everything. They don't care if you know they're you if you know they're gonna be there. Also, what you can do about pre-firing is just quick scope the angle. If you see someone is there, crouch peek it from a different angle, and then you'll get the guy easily. That's what you do with pre-firing. You can see a lot of people. They can get just info on you, and then once they get info, they're just gonna peek you very quickly and crouch peek you or try to peek you aggressively. And once they do that, they're just gonna pre-fire you, crouching, or they're gonna after they know that where you are, they're just gonna just get the info, pre-fire, and then pretty much they're gonna win the gunfight. All right, so what I'm gonna talk about right now is peeking. Just a brief talk um, about how you can peek and how your peaks can become much better, and you can win more gunfights by the way you peek correctly. Now, what I would recommend for defenders is to not peek. This is just as simple as is. Don't peek the angle every time. Don't try to be too aggressive and just peek everything. If you play more passively, you are going to win more gunfights because you're just waiting for the person to just come in your crosshair. If you're just holding this angle right here and you're not peeking the door that they're holding, you're gonna be waiting for them to come. Easy kill. Don't peek. Play passively, just much better. But if you do want to peek, this is what we're gonna talk about. Peeking is very important to know how the angle shows your character. Now, what I mean by this, if you peek like this, that is a pretty much the worst peek you can do, because if he swings, he can see your whole body, and you might not be able to just click on his head and get the kill. He might just, he can just, if he has info on you over here, he just comes in from this door. He comes in from this door, and he knows you're standing over here. What's he's gonna do? Swing you and pre-fire, or just swing you and shoot. What happens is you're showing pretty much your full body, and he just crouch peeks you. You're gonna have to adjust your aim to him. But if you're holding the angle I'm gonna show you like this, if you're holding this correctly like this, showing minimal parts of your body, it is just so much better, because if he slow peeks this, he's gonna show his head, his pixel, and you're gonna anticipate it. Dead. Just all you need to do is just shoot there, and he was just gonna be dead. If he goes and white peeks it, you're gonna just see him pass through, and what you can do next is pre-fire him. It is that simple, and it's that easy to just hold the angle as close as you possibly can, and it's gonna show minimal part of your body. Same as for attackers. If you're peeking,
You have been spotted by
uh,
hostiles. Fall back.
if you're peeking this, what I would recommend doing is first quick peek if you want to get info. Like for the guy behind couch, no one behind couch, no one behind standing here, and no one on the door. If they see someone on the door, then you can just quick peek it and just go through it that easily. So what I would recommend is just quick peeking this really quickly, and then you get the info, and then you pre-fire if you see someone there. If you don't know how to quick peek, what I would recommend is just hold the angle tight and just keep swinging with your mouse as close as you can to the angle, like this. Just keep it on over at the angle. Swing this, swing like this. Pre-aim all the angles you know, and then pretty much shoot if you see someone there. This is how you correctly peek and how you can reduce a lot of how much you show from your body, and how much easier it can be to kill and win gunfights. So once again, just slowly peeking the angles, slowly peeking it, slowly pre-aiming all the angles that you know, just getting that peak and just pre-firing what you and pre-firing the angles that you might suspect is pretty much a very good way of trying to get the win more gunfights, because what I see a lot of people do is they just try to go
You
for
have
like
been spotted.
a stupid peak, like they're not they won't even aim, or or they just peek like this and try to aim after it, or they just show their whole body and try to go for the kill. What's gonna happen is he's gonna just see you go from here. He might have his crosshair over here, and he's just gonna shoot. Wide swinging does work sometimes, especially if you're on high ping.
Your location has been compromised.
It might work, but if like most of the time you're gonna expose too much of your body. If you just slowly peek that and try to get the kill, try to get to surprise the guy just standing over here or holding this an angle over here, then it's just much better the way I showed you. And yet again, utilize quick peeking if you know how to. Get the info. If you can get the info, you pretty much free fire win. That's just how the game is. Yeah, there's a lot of movement aspects that you need to learn that are advanced. They are advanced tactics, but if you learn them, pretty much really strong additions to your arsenal. At the end of this is pretty much the end of what I'm going to talk about today. It's going to be I hope it's not really a uh, long mentoring for you guys or a long video for you guys. I try to make it as simple as possible. I try to connect many things together. If you can pretty much just do the basics that I have explained in this video, you're gonna see yourself improve a lot and win a lot more gunfights uh, instantly, just because you applied those basics. What I'm gonna do in my next mentoring is I'm gonna talk more about gunfights and a lot more about peaking and movement and the minimal exposure to different angles that you show yourself to. So stay tuned. It's gonna be the second part of the gunfight and mechanical skill series run of mentoring that I'm gonna do. Hopefully this was really good and helpful for you guys. And if you have any feedback, you can send me a message on Discord, uh, and I would be pretty much happy, be really happy to reply. Or if you have any questions, I'll be really happy to reply as well. Thank you guys for watching this, and hopefully I can see you in the next video and the next mentoring. Bye bye.